Welcome to the Faith in Podcast.
Welcome to Stuck with Soda, guys. I'm here with Aaquib Jaleel.
Hey, this is Faith in Podcast, okay?
Excuse me, whose car are we in? My car?
Whose recording device are we using? Mine?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, but you're
Okay,
stuck with Soda.
No, not Stuck with Soda. This is Faith in Podcast. So roll
Stuck
the
with-
intro!
No, you're stuck with Soda, guys.
No, man.
No, Aaquib, don't be a child.
Oh, look who's talking!
Hello, what?
Who's the child again? Me?
Yeah, you only.
Not me only.
Big, little, cuddly, cute baby.
Sorry.
And that's why we are in the Stuck with Soda
No,
podcast.
we're not in the Stuck with Soda Podcast. We are on the Faith in Podcast. So welcome!
Okay, compromise.
What,
Okay, let's say it at the same time.
Okay.
We are Stuck with
Faith in
Soda.
Cobra!
Oh, faith in soda. Yes, I have one, guys. I have one.
Welcome to the Faith in Podcast.
That's all. Go home. Bye.
This is Aaquib Jaleel from Faith in Podcast and
Soda, who is stuck with Aaquib, but it's a Stuck with Soda podcast as well.
so we've been doing podcasts for quite some time. At least one of us has, and both of us have realized something.
That Aaquib is a dick.
I probably am, but more so, like, we have very different styles when we think about what a podcast is. For example, what do you think a podcast is, Soda?
Podcast is you listening to someone speaking about something, and that is all.
See, so for me, it's about a conversation. It is about talking to other people and bringing out their effervescent ideas out. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah, so that's why I said two people talking. Obviously, it's not like, hey, did you brush your teeth? Yeah, I did. Kya aapke toothpaste mein toothpaste hai? No, not like that. Yeah, obviously, it's like eavesdropping on a conversation that you are not part of.
Technically, I don't think it's only eavesdropping. They are also contributing in some form.
Yeah, but I don't like this video stuff. Video should not be part of podcasts.
I agree.
It is. I mean, now it's just like, oh, I'm not good enough for just your ears, so I have to show you something to look at as well. And
The main reason I don't want to use videos on my podcast is because they'll be seeing us down. It gets so conscious.
Too much work. It is too, like, you edit everything I do.
Yeah, no shit.
Except comedy. But everything I do, and I know the kind of efforts that you have to put just to like match the audio to the video, and then make sure the quality is great and all of that. So I mean, from the perspective of a very lazy person, video.
He is very lazy.
Yeah, I am driving right now though, but I am the lazy person here. Yes, which is why I invest in technology and bought a car instead of walking everywhere.
True.
Speaking of not walking, Aaquib, how are you?
Fuck you, die. My comebacks have like reduced to that right now.
Yeah,
Just
because
suck
when you
it,
go
chicken
somewhere,
die.
you don't come back only. You're a lazy fucker.
What to do, da? Life is like that, da.
Yeah.
But anyway, what is the reason? Why did we do this? Why are we doing a podcast together?
Because
Since
you have issues with me and I have issues with you.
Yeah.
And my issue is that I've already mentioned this in the first part, but you started podcasting before me, even though we were supposed to do
don't
it
be a child, bro.
together.
Don't be like, let me stick on my thumb and be like, no, I shouldn't do it. Why didn't you do it? Why you be like that, ra?
Because it was a nice idea. It felt good that we were going to do something together.
Yeah, we're still doing something together, da.
It's like you promised me to have sex with me, then you just went and masturbated alone, and now you're like, I'm done.
I'm now going to stop the podcast right there. Let me get this job over with, and then we'll come back out of the podcast.
What
The fuck, da?
My hands are on the steering wheel.
Sure they are.
Yes.
He's on second gear, if you know what I mean. I don't know why this third gear is shit.
What is the innuendo? You are sitting in a car and it's on second gear. How is that funny? This is another issue. For somebody who does comedy, you laugh at fucking everything.
Because that's funny, dude.
No, you cannot be so easily amused.
You understood. You have to understood something. No, you have to understand something about me, da. When you see a butterfly now, you just see a butterfly. I see a very funny butterfly.
No.
Like, I think that the butterfly is drunk. That's why it's going like here and there.
No,
and
it's
it
not
amuses
about,
me.
See, if you laughed on your own, then I'd be like, oh, comedy genius. Only he understands his jokes.
I'm alone, da.
You laugh at like Kusu. See, like proof. I can just say words and he'll be like, like.
No, you can't use kusu against me, bro.
You take implied humor to another level.
Kusu. Like, how can you not laugh at kusu?
I'm not laughing. Say Kusu.
Kusu. It's
Don't
funny.
get me laughing.
How? Yeah,
Because
because
I
you.
grew the fuck up.
No, you didn't grow the fuck up. You have no soul, bro. That's the problem. You should start enjoying yourself a little. This fucker stopped enjoying comedy. I feel sometimes because he just looks at shit and be like, yeah, that's how the joke should have worked. I should now probably start using that here. An analogy would work best in this context, and that's how you look at shit. Why can't you just be like, that's funny shit?
Yeah, that does happen to me, but I'm just not as amused as you are
I am
about
amused.
anything.
But okay, that's exactly the opposite for me. For like my problem with you, man. Sometimes you just let go, da. Some shit you just have to like be like, yeah, okay, it's funny because it's funny. That's the only reason. Now the you should see his face. This is when I wish there was video. Like his face just goes into fuck you. Okay, I know you're right, but still.
Hey, but still, like both of us find like the same person unfunny sometimes. Okay?
Yeah, that I do
Commonly,
agree.
there are people who we both don't find funny. So obviously, there is some logic to me enjoying humor and you enjoying humor.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But majorly the problem I'm having right now, with like in your context, like you say that I'm easily amused, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's not just being easily amused. Sometimes it's just I just feel like it's a lot easier to laugh at something rather than just be like, eh, because sometimes like it could be funny, right?
Yeah, but then if you are so easily amused by everything,
Mm.
how do you decide what you're going to talk about on stage? Because
See, that's a completely different ball game, and
so how is there a special filter over there?
So the reason there's a special filter over there is because I feel for me my style is stories and things like that, and I hope that what I find amusing amuses other people as well. For you it's a structure. For me it's more like if the flow of the story is really good for me, I kill. For example, you've seen me do the K bar story multiple times now,
Yeah, yeah.
and you would have noticed that if there is a nice flow to the story, it kills very nicely. No matter how
Yeah,
many times I
but
change it.
you also keep messing with things. Like I don't know, my long-standing problem with you comedy wise has also been that you will nail a set and
Yeah.
then you will never do it the same way again. Then you will basically just like build a sandcastle and then shit on it. Like sandcastles are what you splosh with.
Oh,
Splasher.
splosher.
Yeah,
For those of you
you
who
are
don't
a
know what
comedy
sploshing is,
splasher.
I'm a comedy splosher.
Yeah.
Beautiful, da. I have never been called that.
No, like it's serious, okay? Like so many people work so hard to get the joke to that level where it kills. You get there really easily, and then you just like work backwards, and like you're like, oh, this worked, but this didn't work, so I'm gonna make what did not work, and so what works will now not work. Why do you keep doing that?
Because I think it's just an inherent
See,
problem.
experimenting is one thing, fucking around is another. Okay, you fuck around with your own beautiful.
Okay,
pieces of
wait. Fucking around is completely different. Okay, if I was actually fucking around, I wouldn't be hitting open mics at all.
No, I don't mean like that, but like not by fucking around. I don't mean like not serious with life. Like it's like you're playing Jenga with yourself. Every time the structure is there and it stands, you're like, no, now I will take this out and put it somewhere else and see how it works, and it'll topple, and then you'll be like,
You know what
oh,
my
fuck
issue?
it.
You know what? Fuck this issue. You know what my issue with you is?
What?
You use an analogy for everything now. Why the fuck are you using? Can't you just tell me what you want me to what to tell? You have to use a fucking analogy. It sounds like I'm talking to the Riddler most of the time. You should be called the analoger.
Yeah, because that's not gay at all. The
Yeah,
analoger.
the analoger.
Yes.
You'd be like a terrible Batman villain though. You just
Why
kill him
am
with
I a
analogies.
Batman villain at all?
Because the Riddler, the analoger. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Jokes.
Oh, wow.
Jokes. So many funny stuff.
Wow.
Okay.
I just realized like the Riddler's real name was Edward Nigma, like
Edward Nigma?
Yeah, Enigma.
Uh.
So if the analoger was a Batman villain, my real name would probably be like Enema. What goes in must come out.
Holy shit, that's your whole line. That's your whole line.
Like for me, I guess why I use analogies is because like I'm afraid to face something for what it is, and so I change its form and then go about it like, oh, this I'm talking about this one thing, but then I'm going to like make it something else.
Uh,
Then I'm going to treat it as that new thing until it means what it started with.
so you're a woman.
No, I just been around a lot of them, so maybe I think like them.
Maybe you start
But
thinking.
yeah, but yeah, and like analogies, like they are oversimplifications of things that you don't understand. Like like if you think about it, the teachers that you would have identified best with, and you thought that they explain things very well, they would have used analogies most of the time. They would have been like, oh, like why like the most basic analogies are like, oh, instead of saying 1 + 1, you have an apple, somebody else has an apple. Why the fuck do you need apples when you're doing math? Like, why is there a fruit basket in my math tuition? Just like because you can, now that you've given it a form.
Hey, you're talking about analogies and giving more analogies.
Yeah.
How are you doing this?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Do you understand the problem?
It is not a problem.
Oh, it is a problem, dude. Like at one point, you're not talking. See, that's another thing. I feel like at one point, even when you're trying to be very vulnerable on stage, you can't sometimes hit it because you sustain, like you start saturating it with what can you say, what's the word, I can't find words for it. Like you saturate it with so many analogies, and like this would be so much funnier if you didn't use an analogy and just told it as it is.
No, but the analogy for me is escape from that serious situation, right? Like if I'm talking about something that's really serious and I want there to be humor in it so that the audience doesn't go too dark, then I have to say this is like, and then the moment I say this is like, and I kind of compare it to something lighter, then the audience is going to latch onto the lighter thing, and that will help them laugh easier than the real darkness of what you're talking about. Like, I have that joke where I say that I hate reality TV shows because when somebody gets rejected, they say, before you go, please sing another song for us.
Yeah.
And so there I'm talking about like rejection and not making it, and dreams getting destroyed and all of that nonsense.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to analogize it, saying let's do this, like that is like saying that you failed in the exam, why don't you fail one more time? Now everybody has gotten used to failing in exams. It's not something that will end your life unless you're just not doing 12th standard. And in any case, exams should not end your life. That is a
PSA,
yes.
PSA from Soda.
So yeah, like that's why I do analogies, because analogies make me feel like what I'm talking about is not too real, and it's got just
But
that
aren't
amount
you?
of glamour.
But isn't that a problem for someone like you? Because you've come to a point in comedy where you have to start looking at being unique, right? And people have told you this. I know people have told you this, that your set sometimes is very generic in ideas. And I feel the reason that is there is because you tend to try to keep it as relatable as possible. Sometimes you're not looking at the weird shit.
Right. But yeah, like I don't think it's weird because I tend to relate to like the common man. I don't think like I have any like special experiences.
Hey, please.
No, so that's so when a non-special person like me has an experience that I think nobody can have, that is when things get really weird. Like I like the whole Tinder story where I'm like, I didn't get any matches, but there are lots of people who haven't gotten matches, but I'm like, no, I got suggested to myself by Tinder, and stuff like that. So that time I'm like,
But do you see how that's different from all of your other bits? If you look at your movies bit, does it kill as much as Tinder?
I guess. I mean, the movie is a bit kills because that's like, it's not a hacky, but it's a very easy thing. Like, again, in the movies bit, that's where analogies work the most, because that is where the analogies are my unique quality. Because you've heard everybody do movie reviews, you've heard everybody be funny about it, but then when I'm talking about a movie, they should remember me as reviewing it and me as telling the joke. And that's why I never do an end-to-end review of a movie. I'll pick up a movie and be like, this is so awesome, or this is so fuck all because of these three things, and then finish, and then quickly, like it's a very easy in and out topic for me. But like when I'm gonna talk about like a breakup story or something like that, then I use analogies probably to get out of that situation.
Mm.
Like probably the analogy is the exit. Like when I'm going in, it's real, and I'm explaining it to you. But when I have to get out of it, I can't just abruptly stop there and be like, "Do you feel bad for me? Okay, let's go to something else."
But I think that's what you do in life, dude. I feel a lot of times that's what you do. So
yeah.
like
So
I
the
like,
analogy is the filter for me between like on stage and off stage reality.
you know what? Me and you have different issues. We've
Yeah.
been dealing with these issues for quite some time. But fuck all of that, dude. We're still friends.
Yeah.
And as friends, we also try to promote each other.
Yeah.
So, like, you should be probably saying, oh my god, Faith in Podcast, you should listen to it.
Yeah, I would have said that if you didn't say that right now. It's like you're sitting in my car and blowing yourself.
Oh, you know how difficult that actually is? Anyway, so Sudarsan Ramamurthy AKA Soda. We all want to know. So the nation also needs to know, okay? Bro,
Yes.
Clueless in Chennai, bro.
Yeah.
What a, like, I'm just gonna put like round of applause right now, guys.
No.
Like
Okay.
there'll be like rounds of applause. Like right now, just think this is a studio audience. They're all clapping. Yeah, bitch. Yes. So, first off, congratulations on Clueless in Chennai, my friend.
Thank you.
It's great to see that you're finally moving out of your comfort zone, moving around,
Yeah.
and going to different places. So, where and all have you performed?
So, Clueless in Chennai has happened in Coimbatore, and it has happened in Bangalore, and it has happened in Hyderabad.
Woohoo!
We are also going to try and take it to the north, and probably maybe go back to Bangalore or Hyderabad. Hyderabad specifically, we want to go back because it's an amazing room. Like Hyderabad has comedy club. It's one of the it's one of the simplest comedy clubs I have seen. Like I've performed in CLC and I know the setup over there, and then I performed in Hyderabad and the people who run the place, like the comics and the producers, they're also very
Let's give them a shout out, dude. Let's give them a shout out.
Hyderabad Club, guys. I don't care if you don't check out the biryani when you go to Hyderabad, but you better check out Hyderabad Comedy Club. There's people like Vivek and Bhavneet and a lot of other people, and Raja, also Rajashekhar Mamidana, who is one of the
Mamidana?
Yes, he is one of the brains of the Hyderabad comedy scene. And also Arun Govada, who started out the scene over there. Also, Hyderabad will be one of my most favorite venues because both me and Priyanshu got standing ovations there. This was the first time in life that I was, experiencing a stand-up comedy related standing ovation. Like Priyanshu went on first and he got a standing ovation. I'm like, wow, okay, I have to follow that. And then I went on and then they, applauded me as well. I just thought they'll stand up and walk out, but they were standing there like clapping, and I was like, wow, you guys are nice. Thank you so much.
That's great.
So, good place. Great.
So the first question I actually wanted to ask though was not about the touring, but it was about what is Clueless in Chennai, because I still think a lot of people are still clueless about what is Clueless in Chennai exactly. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Wordplay there, Aaquib.
Thank you. I've been known to do this.
Yes.
We apologize for the sound in advance.
Yes.
Because
in the outdoor locations.
Yes, we did not realize that we would be in outdoor locations.
We are giving exposure to our own podcast by doing it externally. So
very cool.
Yes.
So first things first. Clueless in Chennai.
Yeah.
What is the concept behind Clueless in Chennai?
Concept behind Clueless in Chennai. So basically, the concept is two guys who want to do shows together, but also do more than 30 minutes. That's the first thing, at least for me, because both me and Priyanshu have been doing comedy for almost like 3 to 4 years. Priyanshu has been doing it for 4 years. I've been doing it for just about 3 years now. And in Chennai, like we've hit all the venues and we've done all permutation combinations of shows in terms of the number of minutes that you're on stage, and you can't get more than 30 because you're getting drafted by someone else, or you need to stick to time and all that. So with Clueless in Chennai, the thing was to get out 40 minutes of material out, and do it as a show instead of just saying I'll wait for my time whenever I can. That is one. Secondly, Clueless in Chennai, the name was it was supposed to be science versus commerce in the beginning, because Priyanshu is the science guy. I'm not a commerce guy, but I'm like, science versus, you can't just be like science versus this guy.
That would have been awesome, science versus this guy.
But then nobody knows this guy yet, so I can't just be like, hey, I am this guy, I'm this guy. So then we realized that Clueless in Chennai had a nice ring to it.
So my question now is it considered a special for you guys, or is it considered like just a group going out?
It could be called a special in the sense that the reason it's called Clueless in Chennai is because both of us are from Chennai, and we are clueless in our own ways. Like that's one of the underlying common themes that both of us have in our stand-up, where we're questioning things and we're like, hey, I don't know where I am. I'm confused, clueless, and stuff like that. So then Alcoholics Atrocious happened, and I was trying to
Shout out to
Suman and
Suman.
Suhas
Yes.
from Bangalore, who are the Alcoholics Atrocious. And someone was telling me, like, Alcoholics Atrocious is obviously a wordplay on Alcoholics Anonymous. And he was like, first of all, it's a catchy title. Secondly, when people come in, they kind of already know what they have to expect. And they're like, whoa, these guys are going to talk about this kind of stuff. So I want to know more. So
But
Clueless in Chennai was
the idea to get that?
Clueless in Chennai, like kind of like a Sleepless in Seattle sort of thing. But Clueless in Chennai had a nice ring to it.
CIC.
Yeah,
Sounds very cool.
Yeah, so that's how it started.
Okay, so when you guys started touring, what was like your main fear going to these places?
There wasn't any fear because for me and Priyanshu, we have performed outside of Chennai. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a passport, so I haven't gone abroad. But I have gone to Cochin, I've gone to Bombay, I've done CLC, and now Hyderabad and all of that. Priyanshu has performed in like the Indonesian
Yeah, that
part of the world.
subcontinent.
Yes.
Subcontinent.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a subcontinent, but
No,
yeah.
but so Jakarta and places like that.
Yeah.
So he's obviously performed to a crowd he's not a part of. But going out, I think the main thing for us was like the one silver lining that we had is neither of us have very specific Chennai references. Like we both know Hindi and we both know Tamil also. So wherever we're performing, linguistically we can switch it up. And the other thing is also you don't have to be from Chennai to get the jokes. You don't have to be from Chennai to get the jokes, because we're like, hey, we are from Chennai. We're here to tell you about Chennai. Even if you're not from there, you can get some things that you will learn from this show. Then we go back.
That's cool.
But mainly it was to also see how do we fare when we perform to an audience in a place where we're not from. Like at the end of the day, you don't have even like comics are a huge moral support for you. If you're performing and there's like 5-6 comics who are going to be there applauding for your jokes, you still feel like it's a good show. But if you're performing in a place that you're not from, the comics don't know you first, and then they're going to be like, oh, we're going to watch you as well, and not judge you or anything, but you're also going to be performing to the audience, and
They're
the comics
considered
the same.
audience at that
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
that is one thing that came out of it, and we also realized that comedy club, like specific to comedy clubs, when people come in, they already come in a mood to laugh. But that's not the same when it's a cafe or a pub or something like that. And in Chennai, there's no comedy club, so it's always a cafe or a pub, and so that is the difference that we saw. And coming back, we realized, you get a little more confident that, hey, I traveled somewhere with a show. Nobody knew me there, but still people bought tickets because it's just my face and Priyanshu's face on the poster, and people still were like...
But it looked like a catchy poster, man.
Yeah, and the good thing also was that even though it was called Clueless in Chennai, the people who came were not Chennai expats.
Oh, okay.
They were not like full Tamil people. They were just like, oh, great, let's go.
Yeah, because I was me and you were listening to your set when you were coming back, and I realized that even though you tried a lot of Tamil humor, I love how you use subtitles for the joke and all, and they were still laughing, which was a very cool thing to see.
Yeah.
But that's CIC. Now my question to you is how do you see? Do you feel that you will be continuously performing with Priyanshu for future shows for a while, or
Yeah,
do you think you're going to
definitely.
start working towards your own sort of special?
No, so I will do that side by side. The one thing that you learn when you tour with a show, a specific show, is that you realize how easy it is for you to get tired performing the same exact thing over
Especially
and over.
like a 40 minutes.
Yeah, because when usually otherwise when you're doing 30 minutes, there'll always be a mix. It will be like a little bit of new content, a little bit of old content, and all of that. But when you're doing like Clueless in Chennai, for me was that I realized that I was switching it up a lot, but then I realized that if I want to do a special, then I'm gonna end up using all the material in that first show. And if it gets a lot of response, I go back and then perform the same ones. They'll be like, oh, he's still doing the same jokes. He hasn't written new stuff.
Okay.
So as soon as I got done with Coimbatore, I realized that I have to make sure that I am sure of what content I am doing and what I'm not doing, and then save some up for later.
But now you're in an interesting place where was your full 40 like all material that you wanted to try out?
No, actually, it always happens that whenever I write stuff down, just before the show, I write down saying this I want to do. I end up doing only like 60-70% of it because either I get carried away because of the crowd, I do interactions, and then once in a while I keep doing this thing where if I'm talking to somebody and then I know that there is a joke coming for that, I switch to that.
Okay.
So then I come back and then I'm like, oh, I didn't perform that. But I don't feel bad about it, but I also realize that a lot of times, like, there'll be a 4-minute bit where I would have done the first 2 minutes of it, and instead of finishing the bit, I'd have jumped to something else. So you don't get that closure as a comedian to have finished the full set.
Yeah. But so now that now that you know how a 40 minutes feels, do you see yourself ready for like this 1 hour?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, and the other thing about performing with Priyanshu is also that, first of all, for two people to get on stage, it takes a lot of chemistry. You need to know that person on and off stage. You need to know what they're going to say. Like, both of us know each other's jokes almost by heart by now. So, right now, if I thought of doing another show with another person, it would obviously be Priyanshu because we've already done that.
Do you guys think you're going to mix it up anytime soon? Like I've noticed that a lot of comics do this where both of them come together on stage, right? But Clueless in Chennai has always been 2 monologues. At least in my mind, I've seen it as 2 monologues. Do you think you'll be doing anything where both of you will be on stage and performing?
We've talked about it, but you know, the whole point of doing 40-40 is to own that 40 minutes purely as one person. So if we do that, at some point we're going to compromise on that. That is one. Secondly, we don't know how it's going to work out because both our schedules don't match, and it requires a lot of time to sit down and talk about it and do it together. But it is fun. Like you and I have done dual hosting, and it was great. But we didn't know when to stop.
Yeah, like we just kept going. But it was way too much fun to not stop.
Yeah.
But that's my issue right now with how specials are being handled or how shows are being handled. I feel like there isn't really that much variety when it comes to a special itself.
Right.
So usually I see this like Baggy or KK or any big comedian you look at, there is this standard format of, okay, I'll speak for 1 hour, you'll be listening to me, it'll be your greatest 1 hour ever. But I always feel like, shouldn't there be variety acts for it, especially for something like Clueless in Chennai, because it's a very different concept from a lot of other tours, at least I think so.
Right.
So don't you think it's also important for you to keep changing it up so that you also won't get bored, and two, there is always something to look forward to when you're touring?
So in terms of switching it up and mixing it up, for me, whenever I get on stage, there is always something different that I do. Like even you've told me sometimes that I've heard this joke so many times, but this time I felt like I was listening to it for the first time. I think that's where my experimentation stops because I'm a little purist about stand-up. Like if I'm going to do stand-up, I want to go up there and do jokes and not end up doing magic or not end up doing like...
We're coming back to issues now.
If that was how the show was built, like Alex's next one is musically yours, or no, musically humorous, right? So on the poster he has a harmonium. People know he can sing. People know he can do stand-up. So if he's gonna mix that up, nobody's gonna question that. But at the end of the day, if I did a variety act, in my head, in my mind, I don't want to feel like I knew I suck at stand-up, so I latched on to something else that will get the crowd riled up. So the payoff for me is not that they're laughing at the jokes, but that they're appreciating this other talent that I have.
Yeah. So, but see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you guys like breaking into song or you guys doing. What I would have liked to see is, you've seen the Lucas Brothers on Drugs and things like that, where both of them are on stage, and that's a killer performance too. Have you thought of doing like a dual monologue or something? Like dual hosting is basically what I was thinking about.
I want to do that. I definitely want to do that because, like, even you and me, we have a lot of like common premises that we can work on and so on. But it's just about, you know, like a lot of times you get that idea that's really genius, but you're really lazy, so you just let that idea go and then wait for a long time.
Like
somebody else does it. And somebody else does it before you, and you're like, I got that idea first. I should have done it. But yeah, I mean, I do want to share stage with someone.
I think I think it'll be really cool if both of you did it also, because now you've spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
I would really like to see. So listeners, tell this motherfucker to start doing that shit. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But right now, this is my podcast, so.
Yeah, we'll switch to you later on. But yeah, also the whole solo angle, I might have 60 minutes of content that, even like, I mean, totally, I think I have a lot of content, and because I keep writing a lot and I keep hitting the open mics a lot, I have a lot of small bits that grow over time and over experience. And I might have 60 minutes material. Like I went up on stage, like in Coimbatore, I ended up, I think, being on stage for almost 56 minutes.
Holy damn.
Because Priyanshu went first, and then he got done, and then the crowd wasn't that great, so he did his 30 and he realized that he wasn't getting the best appreciation from the crowd. So when I went back in, I was like, okay, let's bring it up and do this.
That's nobody farting. That's just.
Yeah, this is praise. But the first time I did 40 minutes, it was like my hand went numb after the 40 minutes because I was just holding on to the mic in the same hand because I was like, video is happening, I don't want to switch hands continuously with this. And I was
Continuity would be a problem.
Like, that's the thing, I can never just be a performer, like because I've gotten used to also producing and being the guy who's part of a team who makes sure everything happens. When I'm on stage, I'm always like, oh shit, there is somebody after me, so if I'm not doing a great job, I should fuck off as soon as possible so the show can be saved and it doesn't go down with me.
This has been a wonderful podcast.
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's like the first spin-off podcast, crossover podcast ever. It's like Arrow Flash.
I don't know how this is going to be posted.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. So yeah, this was Aaquib being stuck in soda and me restoring my faith in Aaquib.
Yes.
So thank you so much,
anyway,
guys.
Good job.
We are high-fiving.
High-fiving now.
Yes.
I guess that's all.
Yeah.
So
please tag friends who you like to high-five in life.
So how do we end this podcast? Do we say roll the outro or do you say whatever that you say? Wait, this is another thing I hate. You don't have an ending. I do. So I deserve the ending.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it with you. Okay.
Okay. You'll do it with me. 3, 2, 1.
Roll the outro. That's all. Go home.
Welcome to the Faith In Podcast.
That's all. Go home. Bye.